the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
Smiley Arriaga.
And we're back to talk about a very busy summer of wrestling, even in a global pandemic. And you can follow the show anywhere you get podcasts. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, facebook.com/The Wrestling Caucus, Twitter at Wrestling Caucus, and Instagram at The Wrestling Caucus. Elton is back with us today because we have a lot going on. There's a lot of things happening in wrestling, and we figured we'd bring him on to talk about some other stuff that's outside of WWE, because if we told him we're just going to be talking about SummerSlam, he'll be like, fuck that.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so welcome back, Elton. So we're going to talk about, before we dive into SummerSlam, I want to know your guys' thoughts on anything that kind of stuck out in wrestling over the past few months. Be it GCW, New Japan, whatever you saw, what stuck out to you, both good or bad?
If I had to pick one good thing, MJF, he's just like on fire, and I guess two more things because who cares? Darby Allin and Moxley. I don't know. I really love of all the feuds that have been going on in AEW recently. Like, that's probably my favorite. When Moxley cut that promo before that title match they had, like it was something else.
Anything else?
Anything like negative?
Not negative, just anything else.
Anything else? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to All Out, and that GCW that GCW show we saw, the Homecoming, was it like when they had like the ocean in the background? Man, yeah, Nick Gage is like one of the. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but man, that guy is one of like the coolest, like toughest babyface I've ever seen. I really it made me feel bad for not knowing more about him. Like, man, he really like stood out to me a lot.
What about you, Elton?
Well, I didn't really watch any of New Japan, which I'm kind of disappointed about because apparently some really, really good things have gone on. I just really, honestly, haven't really been too interested in it. New Japan, I don't know where they're going. I mean, like, I don't dislike New Japan, but they, like, when I see these newer shows that they're doing, the cards don't look too great. Can you hear Mr. Softy in the background?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
I love it.
All right, but so he what was I talking about? New Japan. Yeah, I wish I could have seen more of it. Aside from that, the stuff that I have seen, really just I've seen GCW. I've seen like 3 or 4 shows. I saw Homecoming Night 1 in its entirety, and that was pretty fun. I mean, I thought it was good. It was a cool atmosphere for what it was. I think that's one of the better atmospheres to have in the situation that we're in right now with, like, you know, we're still not able to have like these big shows and stuff, but yeah, I think that they have the right idea when it comes to presentation, when it comes to like social distancing and stuff, but they had 2 good shows. Tournament of Survival was last night, which is kind of a big deal in the deathmatch world. Alex Colon won again. I didn't see the entire thing just yet. I saw Schlack versus Alex Colon. That was really good. Anything else aside from that? I've seen some AEW stuff. Not too much. They seem to be doing a lot better than, their competitor. So, good for them. Especially when it comes to, because weren't the WrestleMania was empty arena, right? Like, not even like
completely empty arena.
Yeah. Nothing.
So like AEW, well, actually, before I think AEW did it, GCW did it, but then AEW, on television did the whole, we'll have a few people out there, and for what it's worth, I think that that's the best way to present wrestling right now. It's a hard time. You got to be creative. I don't really fault any of these companies for doing the. Some things are less creative than others. Some things are dumber than others. Like, I don't know why Impact is doing a completely empty arena. I don't know, but I don't think I think things could be worse. Outside the WWE realm, at least, they could be a lot worse. I think people are working well with what they have.
Yeah, that's definitely fair to say, and I think that a lot of what's been happening as far as wrestling is concerned, at least from like a scenery standpoint, I think GCW and AEW have been the best with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
personal favorites for me.
Yeah, like that Homecoming show was really
I
good.
can't get over that background man with the ocean. Like that was just like whoever came up with, hey, let's put the camera here. It was like freaking genius. Like
Yeah,
it's it, it,
gorgeous.
it came off looking real good. Tournament of Survival, there was quite a few. I mean, it wasn't a ton of people, but it was in a pretty good looking setting. Honestly, like I said to you last night, a lot of these shows, I mean, if you watched like shitty IWA Mid South shows from 2002, that's literally how these look. They were social distancing, but that's because nobody was there. And you know, sometimes it cannot look so bad. Like especially Tournament of Survival. I don't know if you've seen any of the clips of it.
no,
That
No, I gotta look it up.
it was it was a good amount of actual fans, and I think that they were on some type of like a beach, like next to a boardwalk, and like you could see people on the boardwalk like looking over, like what the hell is this? Like people cutting each other up with glass. Like it's a pretty cool show to watch. I think that they had like the coolest atmosphere so far, definitely them in AEW.
and I think from an independent wrestling standpoint, they're used to having less, so they know how to work with less. Oh,
Yeah.
well, we can space people out, but our shows are already spaced out, so we just kind of have to just be do what we've been already been doing, but even safer, which is great because they already have experience with this kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like could you imagine walking on a boardwalk like anywhere and like just in the distance like yo like is that a death match like going on like that's really cool
Yeah,
like
that's a good kind of like
it's a good way to draw in fans.
yeah, and a good kind of social distance date.
Yeah,
Anyone who's like in a relationship now and you're down by you're in AC. Oh, let's go to this wrestling show. That probably didn't cost much at all. So
no, it was very cheap.
yeah, exactly.
It,
So
yeah,
yeah,
I was just gonna say, yeah, it was on a beach. I don't know. It had a good look. Like even if a big company like WWE did a show like they did, because this is literally, I think that they just nailed a ring to a beach, and I mean, it would look even cooler, like if everyone wasn't so distanced apart. But yeah, I don't know. Right now, I think that those two companies are doing the best with that.
yeah,
Um,
right.
and yeah, and the tournament was awesome. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Especially, yeah, especially Schlack and Alex Cologne. They kept eating glass in that match. It
oh
was
my
pretty cool.
god, like actually eating grass or like this big
I mean, they weren't eating like they weren't swallowing it, but
okay, all right, as long
Yeah.
as everyone's feeling it.
I think Schlack is someone people should go out of their way to look up. He is very threatening, very intimidating. He kind of reminds me of like Brian Cage, but not as like
But
pretty looking.
meaner, he's
Yeah,
meaner.
like Brian Cage has like a flashy look. He's like a guy that you would put on TV, but Brian Cage is not a guy you would put on TV. But he's something that you can't take your eyes off of.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like there are very few guys like these days that have like that kind of effect like anywhere too like no matter what setting GCW's in they still give off like that presence like that's what I love about a lot of the guys there.
Yeah, it was like that homecoming show was like Bash at the Beach or Road Wild, but not as wacky.
it was. Yeah, those shows were the homecoming shows are fun. I don't remember night two as well as night one. Night one was a lot of fun. I liked night one a lot. The main event was really good with Nick
Yeah,
Gage and Ricky Shane Page.
That was sick.
I like
Oh,
the
I mean Homicide and Ricky Shane Page. Sorry.
yeah, that was good too. Like, it was always good to see Homicide, and the Joey Janela doll match was great because it kind of tied into the second night because the person that was handling the doll turned out to be what's his name,
Leo Rush.
Leo Rush. Yeah, I don't know his
Yo,
face and his name.
oh my
It's
god.
been a long day. Yeah, and they had a great match night two, and it was really interesting. Joey Janela jumped off a building, which is always
He
great.
jumped off that. Yo, I thought that because like I was kind of afraid that match was gonna be like too flippy, but like it was really
I was
fun.
expecting a flip fest, but
I-
it wasn't.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
it was really good. Leo Rush was very, grounded, and that promo, that post match promo, was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, Leo Rush was like, I don't have many friends in wrestling, which is a shoot because every interview he's done since he's left WWE has been like, this guy was this. I had not a problem, but like, some sort of run in or not altercation. That's very strong, but like some sort of disagreement with. And it's really, you could tell like those two are honestly really good friends. And Joey Janela was like, "Get Black Lives Matter," and he said it with such conviction that it wasn't like performative. Like
Yeah, it
he
wasn't
really
like
believed it.
bullshit. Like it wasn't just like, oh, I'm catering. Like he truly meant it.
Yeah, it was really. I think everybody should go out of their way to watch that. It was unbelievable.
Both nights.
Anything else, guys, that stood out to you that was not run by Vince McMahon? Before we start talking about the Vince McMahon show.
Uh, shit. Oh. Okay. Yes. ICW keeps having no holds barred shows. Those are all awesome. I would just say check them all out. It's up and coming deathmatch guys, deathmatch legends, lots of GCW guys. Another great Schlack match was Schlack and Homicide at the deathmatch. Was it the Deathmatch Circus? I don't know if it was at that one or the show after that, but ICW is putting. Well, if you're into like hardcore wrestling, um, yeah, they're doing some really, really awesome stuff absolutely on par with GCW. And as of late, especially with the No Holds Barred shows, better than GCW. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, like, well, that's if you're like into, because GCW, I mean, ICW has lots of it, I mean, not as many flippers as GCW, but they're way more into the whole like tough guy, barbed wire and that type of thing, and just yeah, I think it's kind of cool that deathmatch wrestling is slowly making a comeback because it was really not respected for most of the time I've been a wrestling fan, at least.
And what's interesting about those shows are one that from the small clips we watch at your house of ICW, like the ropes or chains, and it's just a different look and feel, even if hardcore wrestling is not your thing. And the TV companies aren't doing that stuff, which is not like a bad thing because now like the independent scene, they can get away with stuff like that because they're not on national television. They don't have million or billion-dollar TV deals. So if you really are looking for a true crazy alternative to pro wrestling, stuff like that is definitely
yeah.
for
Like
you.
unlike anything, like I I have to ask, like Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's Champion, recently called out Hikaru Shida, the AEW Women's Champion, and I gotta ask, like, when was the last time that happened, where a women's champion from one company called out another women's champion like that?
It, I mean, it happens in the indies a lot, but on a mainstream level,
Yeah,
no, I mean, never on a mainstream level, but women's wrestling has been taken seriously only for so long on a mainstream level, so it hasn't really had enough time for that opportunity to present itself, I think.
Yeah, and I think in back in the early days of Nitro, um, Eric Bischoff will have some of the top women from the different women's Japanese wrestling promotions, and they would wrestle each other. It was really interesting. Some of those matches were very good, especially the one at World War III '95. Really good
Oh,
stuff.
oh
But
yeah.
it wasn't like the women's champion from one promotion was fighting another women's champion in another.
yeah, like, oh, that's
Um,
pretty exciting.
it's pretty interesting. I mean, I think that would definitely help their women's division. I mean, like if you put like right now is really the time to cash in on Thunder Rosa, in my opinion. I mean, she's like super popular popular enough on the internet. Not as popular as some people, but that's just because they have a higher platform. Uh, yeah, I think she'll do pretty good in AEW. But one other company that I think that is very overlooked right now is Zona 23 out of Mexico. They are, oh my god, it's like almost like horror deathmatch wrestling. Like there's some really like the it's presented very gritty. There's barely any fans there. The death matches are insanely violent. And they were supposed to do a GCW show, or maybe two shows with them, but then the coronavirus happened. But Zona 23 came back, and Jesus Christ, they're as violent as ever. It's pretty fun. But that's like I said, if you're into like hardcore, stuff like that. But yeah, that's the stuff that stood out to me at least. I still got to check into New Japan. I'm kind of lost.
Yeah, I just watched the USA New Japan Cup Finals. It was Kenta and David Finlay. The match wasn't anything stellar, but it was fine. Kenta challenged John Moxley, but then Jeff Cobb came out and kind of, sort of, without saying it, he definitely challenged him again.
For the
So
opportunity,
for
for the
yeah, for the
briefcase.
for the briefcase. So we'll
Yeah,
see that should be really good because I don't think Kenta and John Moxley are going to wrestle anytime soon because, again, I don't think he can wrestle in a New Japan show in the U.S. He can go over there, but right now I don't think it's a good idea for him to go over there because of the he has a 2-week quarantine, but he has to be on TV every week. It's going to be a thing. So eventually, we'll definitely see that, and it'll be a big deal, I think.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a big deal. Like when did he win that belt?
Moxley?
It was right before the G1 last year.
I
Again,
feel like I feel like he's had that belt forever, and nothing. I forget that he has that, but like I don't know, it would be cool for him to come out with it on AEW,
Yeah,
but
like
I
two
doubt that would
belts.
happen. Huh?
Like like having like I know a lot of people are having like double belts right now, like well especially in WWE, but like it would be cool if it didn't like hold both the U.S. New Japan title and the AEW World title.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
It
Not
would
at all.
it would make him look more important. I mean, remember those photos of Ultimo Dragon where he has like 7,000 championships on him? He has
Oh
like
yeah,
like and that alone like made him like like it's a legendary like those legendary photos of him with all those belts, and it's like it just makes you look cooler. So
yeah. And Mike Tenay would put it over strong on Nitro
Oh
when
my
Ultimo Dragon would come out with all the belts. So
oh yeah, well he knew all about all that stuff. He's like super knowledgeable with like Mexico especially.
I remember pictures of like Ryan Danielson holding like multiple belts, like even before he got to WWE. Like this guy looks like a freaking like super. Like, even before I ever even saw a match of his, like seeing that, like wow, this guy looks like a big deal.
yeah, and Zack Sabre would come out with the Rev Pro title in New Japan. So and in Ring of Honor. So yeah, why the hell not?
Yeah.
So I guess we got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's SummerSlam.
Well,
Yep.
What are some of your initial thoughts, guys, on the show last night as we're recording this?
honestly, I want to get the one real negative I had, like the one big negative I had. Oh, I think there's just too many freaking lights. Just like I looking at the screen, it like hurt. Like it was like, oh god, like especially during the entrances because they have to have the like when you don't have the crowd faces there, they have the graphics in the audience. So it's just like, yo, it's like in The Simpsons where like they all got epilepsy watching that Japanese program.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, but other than that, like actually, some of the matches were really really fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I don't know. The main problem I had was with the lights.
What about you, Elton?
I don't know. I was pretty bored. I mean, there wasn't anything like terrible that stood out, but there isn't anything spectacular. It was just I don't know. It was just a show. It wasn't. I don't really feel either way about it. Maybe as I talk about it, I'll feel different, but off the top of my head, nothing really stood out. Like I said, at least off the top of my head, aside from being completely confused as to the attires with Seth Rollins and Mysterio's son.
Yeah, so Seth Rollins' gear was a tribute to Rey Mysterio's gear in WCW.
Yeah, Halloween Havoc
So,
'97.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's what that was. But I think this show, yeah, it was a show,
Yeah, but
but
then I'm sorry, to cut you off.
yeah, like I think I'm grading SummerSlam definitely on a high curve because Extreme Rules was no good. Backlash was no good aside from like 2 matches. This was up and down a pretty solid card, but given the situation, WWE did the best they possibly could to put on a solid show, and it was a solid show, but it wasn't anything that's like, oh my god, I gotta go watch that. But it was, it was again the Thunderdome thing was good. A change of scenery in WWE was definitely needed. And if you're going to watch a COVID WWE show, I would say watch this. I wouldn't watch the last 3 weeks of
Damn.
Raw or SmackDown or the last show. But yeah, I'm grading on a curve
Yo,
here.
the
So
last few SmackDown, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last one, or difficult. Ever since the Jeff Hardy DUI thing, I've just been like it's been really harder than usual to watch SmackDown. But
it
like
was hard. It was very difficult.
I mean, some good things came out of it. Like I don't know, another thing I really liked in the show, like Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville's match, I really actually enjoyed. 'Cause I actually, and that was one storyline I didn't care for at first, but then like as the weeks gone by, the two actually started cutting, straight to the point and good promos on each other. It's like, oh, it actually made me excited to watch it. I really did like Asuka and Sasha because this was the only match they had. Like their other matches have been good at first in the beginning, but this is the only one that actually had a good ending too. Like where Asuka has her in the Asuka lock and Sasha's crying for Bailey and Bailey's just like, ooh,
Yeah.
It actually was interesting. Like actually, it was the only match they had that actually had an interesting ending.
It felt like a championship match because the last time they got together, it was like, are they wrestling for a title belt? Like, you know what I mean? It was very, it was the WWE's duality.
It was
You know,
cartoony.
sometimes it's like great, and then sometimes it's like, oh my god, you know. But it was,
Why?
it was good. You know, yeah, it was a pretty good match. That's probably one of the better matches of the night, and I think
It was
Roman.
probably my favorite of the night.
Yeah, Roman Reigns coming out at the end of the ridiculous Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman match. But out of all their matches, again, grading on a curve, out of all the Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt matches over the summer, this was the best one. But this match was kind of just like, okay, they didn't explain to us that this match had no rules because Bray Wyatt took out a toolbox. That's right, a toolbox. And he beat Braun Strowman with it. I'm like, shouldn't that be a DQ? Maybe the Fiend is running on his own rules. Maybe he has his own rules. And
Yeah, like Raven. There was Raven's rules matches.
yeah, maybe
sounds cool.
Maybe Bray had his own rules and he was allowed to do whatever he wanted. Then they brawled all over the Thunderdome.
Yeah, like.
Oh, I'll tell you what you were saying.
I was just gonna say, like in WCW, when Raven wrestled for whatever, I don't know. I guess someone gave him carte blanche to just have the rules changed every time he wrestled, and that's why the Flock would always run in, and he would be able to use weapons and stuff. And I guess, it's like it's like that. It's Fiend's rules.
Yeah, and he was even allowed to have a red light. You know, he had his own lighting rig.
Yo, thank God they got rid of that. Could you imagine the red lighting with all the other freaking lights
in the Thunderdome?
I would have gone blind.
Well, hey, maybe when Roman Reigns and the Fiend eventually wrestle, who knows what can happen?
No.
Who knows?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to anyone listening.
Roman Reigns and the Fiend.
So like there was the McIntyre and Orton match, and like all three of us last night, we thought the pay-per-view was over after the Orton match, and then Elton was like, "Wait a minute, isn't there still the Fiend match?" And we all looked at each other like, "Yeah, good night."
Good night. Like, yeah. I tried to okay, no, it's not, but we knew it was, but it was like, no, the show's over.
There's no way. Home. Come on.
And I went home and I rewatched it. I'm like, hey, Roman Reigns came back, and wow, Code Orange did a great job at Bray's theme. Those are my takeaways from that match.
Wait, what are your takeaways? The theme song?
Yeah, Code Orange doing Bray Wyatt's theme, and Roman Reigns coming back.
Yeah, but can't you put the Code Orange thing and apply it to every Fiend thing ever? Is that really a plus for the individual match?
Oh, it had nothing to do with the individual. It had nothing to do with the match because the match wasn't very good, but I just
horrible.
Code Orange. Great job, great song.
I didn't even watch it, man. I saw Roman come out and spear him.
Yeah, it was great.
That was great.
Roman looked like a star.
Love his beard. Love his beard.
Because SmackDown had a lack of star power this summer. You know, AJ's doing great. Jeff Hardy's doing great, even though they put him in a weird angle. But you could tell those guys are stars. Now Roman's back, which is great. You know, it helped their ratings a little bit, but you know, we'll see what happens.
He finally changed the Universal title belt.
Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. And you guys have been saying it for years, and I guess I was the optimist, but the Universal Championship is probably the worst title that WWE has right now. It's played with bad things happening surrounding it, and this summer, and it's been total shit. Like if you've been watching the TV building up to Braun Strowman and the Fiend, you wouldn't think that it's for a championship match. You wouldn't think so. You wouldn't. Yeah. You would think it's some corny sci-fi show after SmackDown in 2010. That's what you would have thought.
R-Truth holding the 24/7 title. He made that title more prestigious than the Universal title.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I would say that. I mean, think about it. Finn Balor, the first Universal Champion, he separates his shoulder. And
still looked like more of a champion than he.
Right, never recovered from that. Really. What else happened?
Oh no.
Yeah,
it was all downhill from there for that little bit.
It was all. Then he got concussed by Jinder.
And then Jinder got a title shot for concussing a former champ.
That's right, but he wasn't the Universal Champion. Lucky for him. Lucky for Jinder, he wasn't the Universal Champion. He was the WWE Champion. So, yeah. And then Lesnar had it forever, which was not necessarily the worst thing, but it was.
Well, when he was there, it was great.
Yeah, it just showed you that they don't have any stars. That's what people complained about Lesnar having the title for so long, because if you notice that Lesnar is gone like that, there are no stars then. You know what I'm saying?
Another guy who you noticed wasn't there, other than Roman, John Cena. There were weeks where I remember when John Cena's not here. Or there are also weeks like, damn, Becky Lynch is not here. Actually, no. It's different with Becky because you had like Asuka and Shayna. When they let Shayna on TV.
Yeah. What else happened on the show that was something? Drew and Randy was what it was supposed to be. It was fine.
Match.
Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't like a G1 or something like that. But hey, again, grading on a curve. It was fine. They've done a pretty good job with Drew McIntyre this summer. I thought. A lot of guys have been shot in the arrow with Vince McMahon's lovely creative direction, but Drew was definitely protected by that. I feel.
Well, luckily,
he's definitely protected. Yep. You can tell that. Yeah.
They let him talk in his accent, and they're like. I thought they definitely would have had a segment making fun of his accent by now. At least one.
No, they will. They will.
Eventually, I know they will, but at least now, it could be tonight for all we know. Tonight's up. Oh yeah, that's right. Tonight's Raw.
Yeah. Now we gotta go watch Raw. Randy, I remember Randy. He said in a recent interview, on a recent press call, that his promos have been very good, right? Recently, I think even if you hate Randy Orton, you can.
He said that himself?
No.
It's like my promos have been pretty good.
Yeah, I know, right? He's putting himself over strongly. He said that Vince liked his promo so much that he kind of just lets him go. Like he doesn't. Whatever Randy's saying is not scripted. It's just Randy being Randy, and he's been great. So it just shows you that you don't need script writers to make. Programming.
Maybe they can do that for more than one person.
I think it's proven to not work at this point.
The scriptwriter thing.
Yeah, it is obvious.
It's a proven fact, in my opinion.
Especially when you have 30 writers. How many writers? You think you still have 30?
I don't know. I know it's a double digit. I would even go as far as to say a triple digit. No, most likely double digit.
300 writers.
Yeah. Oh, what do you guys think of the Thunderdome and the whole thing and everything?
Well, I see people on the internet saying it's better than what they were doing. I don't know. I guess I'm alone. It's just distracting. I'm always looking at that because the matches are boring. I don't know. Whenever something mildly amusing would happen on one of those screens, I would just look at the screen, and not only that, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. It's awkward. It's just strange. I think it's going to be in 20 years when there's going to be documentaries on the coronavirus and what sports had to do to deal with it. I think that's going to be one. I think the Thunderdome is going to be one of those weird things where people are going to look back and be like, people really had to fucking do this to make it seem like it was a live crowd atmosphere. I don't know, but people like it. Maybe I'm the crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy one.
Well, I already expressed how I feel about the freaking lights, so I agree with you. I actually was kind of getting used to the people in the performance center banging on the glass because, kind of felt like a hockey game, that was a nice ambiance. I kind of was getting used to that. Other than the Pikachu and the other, the lovely messages that people left on their pictures, I don't know, I can't with it really is distracting. It's just I can't. It's weird.
Here's what I'll say about the Thunderdome. WWE, like I said earlier today, that they needed a change of scenery. They definitely did. And because I remember watching WrestleMania, I see Drew McIntyre and Brock. This is for the WWE Championship, the main event. And then you look up, you see a fan spinning in the performance center. It's just
multiple spins.
Yeah, it's spinning. This looks so low rent. It's not even funny. But when you watch NXT and they're doing stuff that's they're in your house. They actually made it look like the in your house set. Takeover recently had 3 X's. It was really cool.
Yeah, kind of
looking.
like the WrestleMania 30 set almost.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked really good, and I think that them being inside an arena looks nice, and all the hoopla, the fireworks, and whatever. But the fan Zoom shit is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
It's like a big Zoom meeting, and I don't know personally. I definitely I can't speak for everybody, but like for myself, like I'm sick of Zoom meetings, and like it's just again like watching that. It's like I'm in another Zoom meeting. But it's in my wrestling now too.
Yeah, the biggest star was the Pikachu.
Yeah,
Pikachu was the biggest star of the night. But I will say this. So I heard about what fans are saying about being a part of the Zoom thing, and they said there's like a coordinator person that tells them when to cheer and when to boo. Oh, here comes your WWE champion. It's time to show him some love. And some people were apparently kicked off the chat for not adhering to the rules. Some people were kicked off for eating and drinking.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Whoa, they had a conductor?
They had a conductor.
Like it was choir practice?
Yeah.
I mean, what were they expecting people to do? They're in their friggin' houses. And not only that, can't you drink and eat when you're at a show?
Yeah. You could do it. You can fart, you can burp, you can do
stuff
everything.
You do at live shows. So they create this thing to create the feeling of a live crowd, but all the things that the people can do at live shows they can't do on this. Like cheer or you just look. All you're just looking at everybody looking at you.
It's time. It's time to. I want to hear the audio of the like that job must suck. I want to hear the audio of this Zoom conductor. I just think of like one of those. When you watch those exercise videos and you see the guy on the bike that's like, "Come on, guys, we gotta reach the next mile." That's what I picture.
Work it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the audio. I want to hear this. Hey guys, it's time to cheer for your WWE
champion. Oh my god! I would boo. I would be that guy. Like if he tells me to cheer, I'll boo. I'll just like you don't tell people how to cheer at a show.
Someone's gonna pull their ass out one day.
I hope.
Yeah, someone's gonna take a massive dump on Zoom one day.
Yeah.
Yo, but like,
wait,
I cut you off. I'm like, what are you saying?
No, I was gonna say someone's gonna stream like 2 Girls 1 Cup on their screen, and it's gonna play right there on the hard cam.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look, for all we know, look, there was a portion of the night like we were watching, like where part of the screens went black for a bit. Remember? Where like maybe like someone like did something.
Maybe it's retribution.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Is that done? Did Braun and the Fiend bury them?
I hope.
Did they? Because like we never saw them again after that.
What if retribution is the people that's conducting the Zoom call? They're telling people to cheer for their Universal Champion.
People with masks and bats.
That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
We all part of the grand story.
I guess lastly, if I'm gonna rate this SummerSlam versus the last 5, because I think that SummerSlam in recent years have been some of the better WWE shows. I say it's not as good as the last couple. I think it's better than probably 2015, but like the last 4, no, it's not as good as the others. But it was pretty. It was okay. It was fine.
Yeah, like I don't know. The setting was the only thing that kind of annoyed me, but I don't know. Everything else about it was fine. Like there were 2, 3 like matches that I really enjoyed. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of Sasha Banks, a lot of Bailey. I feel like they took up half the show, but they probably didn't.
But those promos were.
Yeah, their mic skills are atrocious.
Yeah, a lot of people are liking their act, and there's certain like nonverbal things that they're doing that I find interesting, like their eventual breakup. The tease of tension is really good, but when they're actually doing an interview and talking, not for me. But I do think I think people remember the 2-man power trip a lot differently than I do. That was not a good thing, putting all the belts on one heel faction. It's not a good idea, and it doesn't help anybody.
So they had the tag team titles, world titles, IC title.
Yeah, Triple H had the Intercontinental title, which he beat Jeff Hardy for at the time.
God.
Stone Cold was WWF champion, and then they were the tag team champions.
And yeah, then there was that weird, I think it was like Backlash or Judgment Day, where it was a tag match between the two-man Power Trip and Undertaker and Kane. And if Undertaker and Kane won, they would have had all their belts. It was like really odd.
They were fighting for all the gold, all the treasure.
Now,
Oh god.
the two-man power trip is the Boston Bailey connection. Is that the Boston Hug connection?
Yeah.
Oh no! They're called the Role Models.
The Golden Role Models.
Lord.
Wait, really?
Right.
wait, they're the Golden Role Models?
They are the Golden Role Models.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And they wonder why women aren't watching this show.
The Golden Role Models. Oh my god.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Imagine if the Road Warriors debuted as the Golden Role Models.
Well, this is the same company that turned War Machine into the Viking Raiders.
Oh man. Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, they were the Golden Lovers, right?
Yeah,
That's a good name.
that's a great. I love that.
I hate that name.
The Golden
How
Lovers.
can you be scared of the two lovers?
And
That's bullshit. I hate that name.
They flip and they kick and
they kiss.
yes, and they can
Oh
do
my
both
God.
at
How?
the same time.
I'm gonna be scared of the Golden Lovers? Nah.
Yep.
I mean, like, look, they can beat my ass when I see them, but that's a horrible name.
The Golden. Oh man.
Oh man.
I want to be in these marketing meetings of these wrestling.
I just want to hear. This is look. I'd watch a 24 on that, like on the writers' room. I want to see like all this stuff they have. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Braun go into a swamp and then come out bald. Then he's gonna hurt Alexa Bliss.
Oh, that's why he's bald?
Yeah,
I think that's why he's bald. No, he came back with hair and then he shaved. I think. I don't know. Look. and then
Wow.
then he and Ray switch bodies or something.
And Alexa Bliss is in love with Braun Strowman.
And the Fiend. She's in love with both of them. She likes both of them apparently.
If you like this, you have no right to complain about WCW in any year.
No way.
Yo.
No way. You can't even.
People defend this though.
I think we've watched a lot of WCW 2000, and a lot of that was entertaining, but a lot of it was ridiculous. It doesn't even like Hogan shouting from miles away. It's the wall, brother. Is better than the last 4 months of WWE programming.
At least the wall's intimidating.
Yeah,
There's a guy called the Wall. He's a big wall.
His name was the wall.
The Batman. Who said they were the Batman again?
Vince Russo.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we don't need him, but still.
No,
But
Hogan in the wall. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
fine
fine.
with me.
I got no problem with Hogan in the wall. I actually
The wall versus Bam Bam Bigelow. I have no problem with that at all.
yeah. It's I don't know. Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
There's a pay-per-view next week. I guess.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Payback. Payback. Who's gonna get revenge? It's gonna be great.
I'm going with Payback.
And-
Might as well call it SummerSlam Part 2.
Roman Reigns is gonna play WCW versus NWO Revenge with the Retribution or something like that.
That'd be great.
That's gonna
What
be
if it's his
awesome.
stable and they're the new Shield?
It should just be on Twitch. What do you got to lose? What do you got to lose?
Honestly, at this point, what do you have to lose?
You have nothing to lose.
Roman switches Black Ops. They're raw.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, anybody here play Black Ops?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is amazing.
That's incredible. He's gonna all the people remaining in the Zoom in the audience will play Black Ops after the show.
No, that's my favorite part of all this. That Zoom, it's so funny to see these people applaud on cue.
Yo, I want to see
big thumbs up.
I want to see more Pokemon.
I want to know if you have to pay to get into those things.
That's a good question.
Do you?
Imagine how much
That'd be the biggest waste of money, I think, in entertainment history.
Wow. You're paying to be told what to cheer. Think about that.
I'm Googling this. Cost of WWE Zoom. Whatever it is. It's
Thunder Dome.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
The Thunderdome. I love when Vince announced it the
I don't
first
see
time.
the cost. Let's see. How much does it cost to go to the... No, I don't need that. WWE has massive Royal Rumble event on Zoom. What? What's this? What happened? That's
Is that
can't be
new?
real. No, it's from January.
Okay.
No. From May.
How much does it cost to get on the Thunderdome? I never thought. I don't know. Like, don't they pay for a ticket?
I was
Like that?
thinking about that the entire time. I get emails from like Ticketmaster, like your virtual concert tickets are here, and it's like what virtual? Like, well, who would buy virtual? Are people doing that on Instagram for free?
Yeah, and it sounds horrible.
Yeah, like isn't this not a proven? I don't know.
That does seem like a waste of money. I don't know if it costs any money, but if it does, like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I heard they're doing meet and greets too on Zoom. I get to talk to Roman Reigns on Zoom.
I mean,
how's it going, Roman? Good.
Good.
he gets poked with a stick. He's like, "Oh, I've been on for too long.
I like
Goodbye."
the spear that you do. Thanks.
Thanks. How's Florida? It's nice.
It's hot. How are your kids doing? They're sleeping.
Even if it was free, imagine willingly wanting to look like a complete geek, yelling at your fucking webcam because Sasha Banks and whoever and is coming out like
you got your WWE championship that you paid $650 for.
no, like even with wrestlers I love, I would never pay to look like a geek in front of everybody on national. God, it's just too ridiculous, especially in my own home.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it to do what Lil Wayne did, but I can do that for free too.
Oh yeah, I think he was smoking weed or something that he hid away from. No, I think baseball is doing it the best. They have cardboard cutouts of fans. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Cardboard cutouts?
Yeah, cardboard cutouts of people. It's so funny. It's the funniest thing you'll ever see in your life.
Someone has Ronnie the limo driver from Stern out there.
That's great.
A cardboard cutout of him.
You're gonna see that in wrestling soon. You're gonna see a lot of Howard Stern characters.
I hope you see Hatchet Men.
Oh yeah, you might see ICP.
I hope so. People should wear face paint. Can you wear face paint?
I don't know the rules.
I doubt it. If they don't let you take a sip of water, you really think they're going to let you have face paint?
Yo, I can't even sip lean. What?
Yeah. They're just supposed to look at your computer and cheer like a friggin' idiot, I guess. That must be the most awkward. Imagine someone walks in on you acting like a jackass.
Yeah, I'd be so embarrassed. I'm verbally booing Randy Orton. Boo!
Ooh, oh my god, that looked.
And you know that people like who weren't on the hard cam probably did like there were people who like showed their nuts that we just didn't see. I bet they have tons of stories of stuff that people did that just didn't make it to air.
That must be the worst job ever to have to go through all those. It's like chat roulette. You never know what you get. Wow, wrestling is great. WWE is so funny, man. They never cease to entertain me. Never. They never do.
Oh my god.
All right. It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A. Make sure you subscribe anywhere you get podcasts, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Facebook.com/The Wrestling Caucus. At Wrestling Caucus on Twitter. Instagram. At The Wrestling Caucus on Instagram. Yeah, and that's about it. Thanks, Elton, for coming on once again to talk.
Problem.
Zoom chat.
I kind of just wanted to add, it started on a bit of a somber note, hoping for the recovery of Jacob Blake. A boy who was he wasn't a boy, he was a black man, shot in the back a few times by a cop in front of his house. So he's I'm hoping for his recovery at this moment.
Is that what happened in Wisconsin?
Yes.
Yeah, that happened not far away from where my girlfriend lives at all. Her courthouse got burned down.
Oh my god.
Well, that just makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Well, the
What
guy,
did you expect was going to happen?
they didn't do anything to the guy that attempted to kill him just because
Yeah,
he's a cop, and it's like, all right.
Yeah,
we're hoping for his recovery though. It's too
yeah,
many names.
absolutely.
It's crazy.